Hey guys, this is the Fat Panda with another video of a gym challenge. It's been a while since the last one, but I've finally got some time to sit down and start casting these again, so I thought I'd start out with some of the more recent challenges. My gym's changed quite a bit since the last time. It's now actually split into 3 different teams. I have a singles, a doubles, and a rotation team. Each time I'm challenged, I decide randomly which one I'll use, with the simple provision of I never actually use the same one twice in a row against the same challenger, so no one will ever face my single team twice. This challenge is going to be versus Illsavetheinternets. We've battled a few times now. This time he's going to be going up against my rotation team. And rotation, it's a very different battle type than singles or even doubles. Certain things are much stronger, such as wish passing, boosts are much stronger. Certain things are a lot weaker, like any choice item, because when you rotate, it doesn't break, it doesn't break stat boosts, it doesn't break subs, it doesn't break move chains. So your band or your scarf will never actually reset. You'd have to actually switch the Pokemon out. So it makes for a much more interesting battling. A lot of people say it comes down to luck. It very well could, since there's 12 different attacks you can do every turn. Sometimes you just switch the right play and it changes the whole course of a battle. But I don't think... I like to think there's a lot more strategy, or trying to overthink or outthink, I guess you'd say, your opponent in these kind of battles. I certainly enjoy them for the most part. Every once in a while there's a bad match, but I find that rotation battles overall are much more enjoyable, much more fun. You also get to do wonky things that you don't see a lot. So I'll get into the battle now. It's easier to watch rotation battle than to try to explain it, that's for sure. So here goes. So Internet's here. He opens with a Swellow, a Dusclops, and I believe a Porygon too. Yep. So he's got a fairly strong defensive core right there, plus a Swellow. I know from previous battles that it's a Gut Swellow, so it'll probably protect first turn, or maybe he'll rotate to something else, who knows. I just immediately rotate to Metagross. He does go for the Protect, which is great because now I get an agility off here. Or I lied, and it's been a while since this battle actually happened. I guess I sub first, which makes sense as well. So there I get a great sub. Swellow's poisoned by its Toxic Orb. He switches to Dusclops. I go for the agility here. After an agility, I'm pretty sure I outspeed his whole team. I'm pretty sure I outspeed the Swellow. He goes for a Nightshade, so that's going to break my sub. Unfortunately, I can't. Metagross isn't bulky enough to place 101 HP subs, but that's fine. I still have my agility off. So here I use a Wish with Chansey. I thought he'd probably go for a Nightshade again, so I was hoping to get a free turn. Instead, he Will-O-Wisps. Burns, a natural cure Pokemon, or burns and status and whatnot, actually matter a lot more, because rarely do you actually want to take the time to switch it out, to activate the natural cure. So here I swap straight back to Metagross and go for the sub. I was just scouting to see what he'd do this turn. He goes for the U-turn, so he's actually going to bring Swellow out now. He breaks the sub here, not surprising. That's going to do a lot of damage, and it is neutral. But he actually sends out Flygon here. I was expecting Scrafty. His Scrafty terrifies me. It's one of those irritating bulk up rest with shed skin ones, so it can wreck my team. But here's Metagross. He's back to full health. I went for the Ice Punch. I didn't want to risk the Flygon getting an Earthquake off, so I just Ice Punch here to see what happens. He goes for the Toxic for some reason, which doesn't affect Metagross at all. I don't know if he expected Rotom to come out, or I don't know. It seems like a weird move. But here I set up another sub. Porygon 2 goes for the Discharge. I was fairly sure it wouldn't break my sub, but I wasn't 100% on that, and it doesn't. I just go for the Meteor Mash here. Get in as much damage as I can. And it does raise my attacks. My favorite thing about Meteor Mash, especially in rotation battles, is those attack boosts actually start to matter after a time. So here he goes for another discharge. This time it actually does break my sub, so it takes 2 of those to break it. That's good to know. Here I went for the sub. Whenever I can, I like to sub just to scout, especially when I still have Chansey alive to wish. So here his Flygon goes for an Earthquake. I'm assuming it's Scarfed. That's what most Flygons are, so now I know it's locked into Earthquake for the rest of the battle, which means I do have 1 immunity out already in Rotom, even though I haven't had to use him yet. So here I sub one more time. He goes for the Nightshade, breaks the sub. I was hoping for a Will-O-Wisp, you know, his attempt to burn my Metagross, but doesn't happen. That's fine. So here he switches back to Flygon. I actually switched to Chansey for a Wish to heal up my Metagross. Earthquake comes in. I was worried about the damage this would do, but Chansey is still fairly bulky defensively with Eviolite, and plus my massive health, and it doesn't actually do a ton. So I get my Wish off, and this turn I actually just protect with Chansey, try to recover some of the damage I've been dealt. Granted, Chansey at this point is pretty much would have to Wish Protect over and over again to... Chansey at this point is pretty much screwed with that burn and a decent physical attacker out. I was just trying to buy some time here, see what was going to happen. He goes back to Flygon for the Earthquake. I Wish again here with Chansey. However, this time I'm actually going to rotate the Wish over to Metagross. I set up my last sub. I have my Metagross's HP. I made sure to EV it correctly so I had 301 HP. So I actually can sub 4 times with 1 HP left. So here my Lychee Berry activates. I get up a sub, and he went for the Will-O-Wisp. I'm assuming he expected to switch to Metagross and didn't think I could actually get a sub up. So instead I have a free sub, free 100% heal, and now I'm at +2 attack because of 1 Meteor Mash and a Lychee Berry. So now at this point I know I can just Meteor Mash things to death. So I mean, Dusclops and Porygon 2 are going to be crazy bulky. I don't expect them to go down all that easily, which is unfortunate. So here he rotates to Flygon, but at this point I know Meteor Mash can take out a Flygon, so I'm not worried at all. I mean, Flygon's pretty frail to start with, and at +2, a neutral, I mean, it's going to destroy him. The crit, I calculated it later, didn't matter, so I don't feel bad about it at all. So here he sends out his Scrafty. Normally I'm terrified of this thing, but I'm already at +2, so I'm not that worried. But I do try to contingency. I switched to Rotom to Trick. I was hoping he would just start sitting up bulk ups, but he unfortunately didn't. He sends out his Dusclops, so now his Dusclops has a Scarf, and I have an Eviolite. So we're both kind of have worthless weapons here. Rotom gets burned. It's unfortunate, but Rotom isn't doing a lot this match anyway, so I don't really care. I just go to Metagross. Since the Scarf failed, I just have to start pounding out Meteor Mashes in the hopes that I can just break his Scrafty in half before it sets up at all. But he lets the Dusclops take the fall, sends out his Swallow one more time. I Meteor Mash again. This time I hit the Porygon. I don't actually take you out at this point. I mean, Porygon is crazy bulky. But I get another attack boost off Meteor Mash, so now I'm at +3. At this point, I know as long as this discharge doesn't paralyze me, which it does unfortunately, I can just Ice Punch and or Meteor Mash his entire team down. So Porygon 2 takes the fall. I'm feeling pretty lucky here. He sends out Breloom. Breloom goes for the Mach Punch. Normally, I wouldn't be worried about this, but luckily for him, he crits me. So now, the one thing I know that can take out Scrafty is gone, which sucks. So I send out Zapdos. At this point, I'm really completely lost as to what to do. He goes for the Swallow. I just go and sack my Rotom here. Well, it was the plan, but he goes for a Protect. I was just going to try to paralyze in whatever stayed out, but of course he's still got Swallow, which is unfortunate because I can't paralyze it because it's poisoned. He goes for the Facade here. Facade, however you want to pronounce it. Does very good damage, but doesn't take him out. I Thunder Wave again, but he's stuck in with his Swallow, so of course it doesn't do anything yet again. And Rotom falls to burn. At this point I'm feeling pretty down on myself. I don't know if I have anything really that can take out Scrafty, except this Gallade is my last choice. But I know as long as Swallow is there, I can't risk my Gallade. So he goes for the Brave Bird. It's going to do fairly good damage to Zapdos, but actually not very much. I always forget Zapdos is resistant to flying. But my Charge Beam misses as well, which is pretty unfortunate. 90% chance, misses, oh well. But, you know, I didn't miss a single Meteor Mesh earlier, so whatever. You know, it had to happen at some point. But there it goes, the Zapdos. So now Swallow is just wrecking things. I can't hit it with anything. Fortunately, it's going to toxic itself to death very soon. One more tick kills it. So that's good. So here I send out Raikou. He goes for the Facade. Raikou does have a Focus Sash, so I know he won't fall here. But he does go all the way down to the Sash, which kind of sucks. I was just going for the Thunderbolt. I really just had no idea what to even do at this point. I figure I may as well just take out as many Pokemon as I can. So here he goes for the Scrafty. I assume he's going to start setting up or whatnot, so I go straight to my Gallade for the close combat. Pre-bulk ups, I know this will take him out, which is absolutely necessary at this point. So now he's down to just a Breloom. The Breloom, as I found out later, is banded into Mach Punch now, which I didn't know at the time. I assumed it was sashed or something earlier, so I thought I was screwed at this point completely. I switched to Raikou. I Protect. I was just going to scout out his move, see what he was going to do. He does go Mach Punch. I mean, at this point, why not? Here I go to Chansey. I'm trying to get a Wish off, hoping that he was going to Spore or something, but no, he Mach Punches again. I mean, I didn't know at this point that he was banded. I assumed he was just going to try to sweep my whole team with Mach Punch for some reason. So there goes Breloom, or there goes Chansey. Here I switch to Gallade. I'm just like, screw it. He seems to want a Mach Punch. I'll just go for a Psycho Cut. He does Mach Punch, does tons of damage, but doesn't take him out because it's not very effective. Get my Psycho Cut off. I thought I'd lost here. I assumed he had a Sash. I mean, that damage is crazy, but I have sometimes a hard time figuring out how much damage a Breloom is going to do. But nope. He falls, no Sash, because he was banded, evidently. And my Gallade survives. So I managed to barely eke out a win there after my Metagross fell to that crit. All in all, though, it was still an enjoyable match, although I was filled with hopeless despair at the end. I thought I had lost it, but he thought he had lost it. Both of us thought the other one was going to win. It's that kind of match that's interesting at the very end. But I managed to pull it out. Gallade is just bulky enough to take that Mach Punch. And all is well and good. So that's it for this battle. I will be probably posting several more. I'm going to work through, as many as I can probably over the next couple days. See how good I get. Anyway, this is that Fat Panda signing out for this battle video.